Hello everybody, so I hope you've all had fun planting out your kitchen scraps to try and grow some vegetables. And yesterday we made some fertiliser, so in a few weeks time we'll have some great fertiliser to help our plants grow healthy and strong. Today what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how to make some pots or things that you can plant your plants in, sow your seeds in, for them to grow until they can be planted outside. And lots of you won't have plant pots at home, and that's absolutely fine. I'm going to show you lots of different things that you can do, lots of things that you can use to be able to plant your seeds so that they can grow. So the first thing, simplest thing, is just an empty egg box. So these are really, really good because these are cardboard, they're recyclable, and they make really, really good little planting trays. So if you've got an old egg box, what you can do is just tear the lid off, use the bit with the spaces for the eggs in, and that makes a really, really good planter. In a minute what I'm going to do is I'm going to put some compost, some soil in there so that I can sow some seeds into that. So that's the simplest, easiest one. Another really, really easy one are just some cardboard rolls. So this was actually a kitchen roll tube that I've cut in half, and I've got some toilet roll tubes here. Now with these, because they are hollow, and they've got a hole all the way through, if I put some soil or some potting compost into those, it will come out the bottom. So you need to make sure that you've got something to stand it in. So I've used just a fruit punnet like this. This is something that I think probably had some grapes or strawberries in. And I'm going to stand my cardboard rolls in that so that when I put my compost in, it's not all going to come out of the bottom. So that's a really, really simple one as well. And then if you don't have any egg boxes or cardboard rolls, you can actually make some little plant pots out of recycled paper. So out of newspaper or anything like that. So I'm going to show you how to make these now. So what you need is just a sheet of old newspaper. Mine happens to be A4 size, but it doesn't really matter what size it is. Different sheets can make pots of different sizes. And the first thing you need to do is you need to fold it lengthways over a couple of times. So I've made one fold that's just a couple of centimetres like that. And then I'm going to fold it over again. And that's going to make the top of your pot. Okay. Then I'm going to roll it up into a cylinder like this. So I've got my folded edge at the top, and if I just tuck that inside itself like that, the fold helps to keep it in a pot shape. Then what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to use a glass. I'm going to put that inside like that, and I'm going to just fold the bottom of the pot over the glass and then push the glass down inside. You can use a cup or a mug, anything like that. Something that doesn't have a handle is best. And then that helps to make the bottom of the pot nice and flat. Okay, and I'll be able to put some compost in that in a minute and plant some seeds in. Now the really good thing about these three, the recycled, the newspaper pot, the cardboard roll and the egg box, is because these are all made of paper. When you come to plant your little plants, your seedlings, out into the ground, you can just put the whole thing into the ground and the cardboard or the paper will gradually rot away as well. So those are really, really handy. So those are three different types of planter you can use. And then a fourth type, which is one that you can't put into the ground because it won't rot away, it won't decompose, is just an old tin can. Now the really important thing about planters is that you don't want them to get too waterlogged. So when you water your plant, you want any spare water to be able to leak out. So the paper ones and the cardboard ones are fine because any water, any spare water will just be able to leak out through the paper or the cardboard. But the tin one will hold water, and you don't want to overwater your plants. So what you need to do is just make a few holes in the bottom to let any excess water out. So what I did with my tin can was I stood it upside down and I just used a corkscrew to make a few holes in the bottom. So you might need to get a grown-up to help you with this. Put your tin upside down on a solid surface, and then with your corkscrew, just press down and it will make a hole in the bottom of the tin. And I need about 2 or 3 holes just to let the excess water drain out. So that's what I've done in the bottom of that one as well, just made a few holes so the spare water can drain out so that my seeds aren't going to get waterlogged. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to use, you could just use any soil that you've got in your garden. If you've got some special planting compost, that's great, but if you haven't, just use some loose soil from your garden. I'm going to fill up all of my planters and then I'll show you how to sow your seeds. Okay, so now I've got my planters all full of soil or compost. I'm ready to plant my seeds. So the first ones I'm going to do, these are my tomato seeds that I got on Monday and they've been drying out. So I've got quite a few. So I'm going to use my egg box and my cardboard roll planters for my tomatoes. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to sprinkle a few little seeds over the surface of my egg box planter first of all. So I'm going to try and spread them out thinly. Now eventually not all of these seeds might end up growing, so it's okay to put more seeds in than you want tomato plants, because you won't grow all of them in the end. And then I'm going to put 2 or 3 into each of my toilet roll planters as well. And then what I'll need to do is just put a little sprinkling of compost or soil on top just to cover them over. So I'm going to sprinkle some just with my hands on top just to make sure that those seeds are covered over. A little bit more in there. Go. And a little bit on my toilet rolls as well, just so that I can't see the seeds. Like that. So those are my tomato seeds planted. Okay, and then if you want to, you can just push it down a little bit so that they're nice and hidden away in there. So those are my tomato seeds. I'm going to put those to one side. Then what I'm going to do is in my recycled paper planters and my tin can planters, I'm going to plant my peppers. So these are my pepper seeds. Got lots and lots of pepper seeds from my pepper the other day, and I've dried those out too. And I'm going to do the same thing. So I'm going to sprinkle a few onto the top of the soil. And again, I'm not expecting all of these to grow. So I'm going to put a few in to increase my chances. Like that. And then I'm going to, again, just sprinkle some more compost on the top so that those seeds are all hidden away. And the same in my recycled paper planters. And then what I'll need to do, lots of you will know that as well as being in soil, plants need water to grow. So what I'll need to do is water these so that they've got lots of water to help them grow. And then I'm going to put them somewhere in a nice sunny warm spot. So I'm going to keep them inside until they're a little bit bigger. I'm going to put them on a nice sunny windowsill somewhere. And just remember that because you're going to water them, some of the cardboard will get a little bit damp, so it's a really good idea to put them on a tray or something on a sunny windowsill. Keep watering them, keep the soil nice and moist, and let's hope that over the next few weeks I manage to grow some tomato and some pepper plants. I'll keep you updated as to what happens. Okay, bye.